Windbreaker. Chat, have any of you ever seen this anime? This anime, let me tell you. I don't know if you've seen anime like Beelzebub or any anime where the high school students are fighting one another, turf wars and all that crazy stuff. My favorite version of that of high school students like fighting each other would have to be Beelzebub. That's probably my favorite anime for that type of vibe. You know what I'm saying, chat? This one is pretty good. However, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on with this particular anime. There is, or at least in terms of the fans, at least. And yeah, a lot of people are dropping this. But, so, chat, you know that one anime called Vinland Saga? Great anime. Great first season. Well-written first season. Well-written second season. I think this anime is very well written as well. First and second, so far. However, the second season for Vinland Saga, and this one, really, kind of threw people a curveball, right? It threw people a curveball, and because I don't have the picture of the character, but there's a character who is a cross-dresser. Some say the cross-dresser is gay. Some say the cross-dresser is not gay. Some say the cross-dresser is a woman, identifies as a girl. Others say no, he doesn't identify as a girl. He just wants to look pretty, right? And that's great, right? There's all kinds of characters who can throw hands, whether you're in the dress or pants. However, my biggest problem with this anime is not even that. I did skip over those 2 episodes. Don't get me wrong, chat. That's not my cup of tea. So I just have a problem with I have a problem with watching someone pole dance. Anybody pole dance, really. And if I was gonna watch someone pole dance, it won't be a guy. I can tell you that much right now. But the biggest problem with this anime, the biggest problem isn't even that for me. It's the fact that the dub. Yeah, I know. I know a lot of you are like, oh, dub. Why are you watching dub? First off, I'm not watching dub. I'm listening to it because I'm playing Call of Duty. I'm playing zombies. I need to listen to. Anyway, I listened to the dub, and I was like, now the action scenes is really nice. I prefer this action scenes over solo leveling, and I bring up solo leveling because solo leveling is great, right? It's a great way, like Dragon Ball, Free Ren, and all these animes are great, like references, if I'm being honest. But the action scenes are great. Sometimes I have to stop what I'm doing just to watch. It's really cool. But what makes this different from a lot of anime where people are just punching people in the face is there's a lot more emotion in this one, which is great. That's still fine. Personally, I still find that like great. They got characters with all different kinds of emotions or reasons why they do what they do. However, if you watch or listen to this in dub in English, because I speak English as far as I know, it's going to sound so cringy, right? Now in Japanese, it would sound fine. It's fine. But in English, if you heard someone talking about their feelings or the reason why they do what they do or just doing too much talking, it becomes like, hey, you just ruined the vibe of this beatdown. Just throw hands. All right? Maybe that's just maybe that's just me, chat. I don't want to put my hands on nobody. However, if I have to fight somebody, I won't be telling you my emotions. No. I'd be focusing on how to make sure I never have to fight you ever again in my life. That's how I see it. I'll make sure this never happens again. That's my goal. I make sure it's impossible for this to ever happen again. Literally impossible. And when I mean literally, I mean literally. I'm choosing my words very carefully. Because I'm a very nice individual, right? And I try to treat everyone with love and respect. But I'm not going to try to tell you why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. I'm just, all right, let's just do this. You get that a lot inside of this anime, which is great if you're listening to it in Japanese. But when you hear it in English, it's like, people don't really talk like that during a fight. Not people who speak English. Not people who speak English, no. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people who talk instead of just throwing hands, right? But this anime, I was just sitting there just running zombies, leveling up my guns, and then I'm like, I feel myself cringing at every other word that's being said. And I think that's a great thing because the main character right here, see my mouse? Yeah. No, Candy, I don't see the mouse. This guy, he is the same exact way. He's like, bro, I'm just trying to throw hands. What's with all this talking? All these emotions. Just throw hands. All this friends and teammates and like this and that. No. I'm just here to fight and fight my way up to the top. That's all I want. And I think that's what makes this anime a masterpiece. I think that's what it is. Even the controversial episodes, episode 6 of season 2 and 7 of season 2, I think that plays into it perfectly. At some point, I might have to force myself to watch it, chat, because I want to be in this guy's shoes. I want to see what he's feeling, because he cringes at a lot of it. And I think that's what makes this anime amazingly written. I think so. Why is a high schooler stripping on a pole, by the way? How old is that high schooler? Whatever. Whoever did this artwork, I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but this is amazing. This is from season 1, and this is like the big dog of like this group. You know, he's the smaller one, the smiling one. His eyes are dead. Then you have the leader of this group over here. Is this better than Beelzebub? No, not at all. Beelzebub is like this, but a little bit more funny. Yeah. If you can, any anime that makes me laugh, chat, because I love laughing. Any anime that makes me laugh. I mean, this has got funniness inside of it, and is much more, a little bit more realistic, right? Less powers and all this stuff. It's just straight brawn, right? Like, and I say much more realistic to the point where the characters are very unique, like on every spectrum, and that's why I think this anime is a very magical one. I would recommend anyone who wants to get into this to do 2 things. 2 things. Do not listen to it in dub. No. Well, you can listen to it in dub if English isn't your main language. Then that's fine. That is fine. But if you speak English, you probably know what I'm talking about. Like, I've already explained myself. And number 2, stay out of the forums, right? Don't get involved with people who love this anime. Don't do it. Don't get involved with people who hate it either. Because one thing I learned about, and I think ever since I started making these videos, one thing I learned about, like, just trying to enjoy any form of media. You know what? It's like, I watched, what's it called? Last night I watched The Matrix, the newest one. And while I was watching it, I couldn't get that little bug out of my ear. And when I say bug, I mean the naysayers, right? People hated The Matrix. People still hate The Matrix. Some people love it. The newer Matrix. So I heard that it was a bad movie, but I decided I wanted to watch it anyway. And I watched it. And throughout the whole movie, I kept looking for what is bad, right? Instead of just enjoying it for what it is, right? I've told you before, I just enjoy things for what they are. There it is. But because I had that bug in my ear, I didn't enjoy the media properly. That's what I think. It's a double-edged sword when you get involved with any type of group who either love or hate a certain medium. There it is. If you're going to hate a certain medium, let it be your own hatred and not someone else's, and maybe not be a hatred and more of a dislike. Like, for example, I don't like live action Dragon Ball, but on some level I feel very confident that okay, hold on, this looks like Pepto-Bismol. I'm just gonna point that out. This makes me sick to my stomach just looking at that. That's much better. Anyway, I am very confident and positive that I don't like live action Dragon Ball because I don't like it, not because someone else doesn't like it. Right? I like The Matrix, and I like this anime. I didn't feel comfortable watching episode 6 and 7. However, episode 6, I will say, I didn't watch 7, and I skimmed past 6. Like, I just scrolled through it, so I didn't hear it. I just looked at it, and I will say it's a very important episode for story. I would recommend people not to pass it up, because it explains how the cross-dressing character ended up like that, right? Like his backstory, and I think that's very important, right? For those of you who are very involved with the story. And now I did hear a lot of people say, "Oh, like I was not here. I did read. Can you hear words? I did read that a lot of people were like in the comments that said, "Oh, I'm dropping this anime, this and that," and I'm like, normally when you drop an anime, you just, unless you're making content like, I am, if you can call it content, really, you just stop watching it, right? You don't really need to make your voice known about that. Like, it's like you're doing that for a specific reason. You want people to know that you dropped a certain anime. I mean, I would understand if you're talking with your friends and they bring it up, like, I stopped watching that, and there's my reason. But if you leave it in the comments and say, "Oh, I'm not watching this anymore," I'm like, okay, you could have just not watched it anymore. You just want attention for a specific reason, right? Now, don't get me wrong, chat. I think this is so far, it's a very well written anime. Even episodes 6 and 7 of season 2. I think that's very well written. Or at least I'm very confident that it's well written. 10 out of 10 episodes. But just like in the Invincible cartoon, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see a dude have it like smash his son through a train full of people, specifically kids. I don't want to see that. Nah, I'm good. I don't need to see that. Episode 7, I don't need to see a teenager dancing on a pole. I don't need to see that. Nah, I'm good. Like, I could easily go somewhere else or watch something else, or I skim. Because I still want to keep following this anime, right? I still want to keep following this anime and I still want to see more of that cross-dressing character. I want to see what he has to offer in terms of these fight scenes. Like everybody, I want to see how well this anime turns out. I want to see season 3. I want to see all that, all right? Because when it comes to anime, those types of characters aren't new. They're not. They're completely not. They got plenty of characters who've been cross-dressing in an anime. A lot of characters that are loved, right? So it's not new. It's not new whatsoever. But if I had to pick which anime was better, this one or, I've said it before, or Beelzebub. Oh yeah, it's funny. it has me dying laughing. Any anime that makes me laugh the most, chat, is the best in my book. Oh yeah. Anyway, chat, I would 100% give this a try. Give it a try. Not in dub. Don't do it. Unless you're doing it for the experience, I would recommend that you just, this has got to be sub. This has got to be sub because you're gonna cringe. If you don't speak English, yeah, then I think you'll be fine if you watch it in dub. Anyway, chat, on with the rest of the show.